Hello friends, my name is Abhishek Dabral and in today's session we will discuss about schedulers. So as we know that when the process enter into the system, it goes to the different scheduling queues before assigning it to the CPU. So the way this process gets selected from the queue and to assign to the CPU is done by the schedulers. So here we are discussing about two schedulers. One is long-term scheduler and other is short-term scheduler. So let's look at the difference between these two schedulers and how they perform their tasks. So first, long-term scheduler is also known as job scheduler, whereas the short-term scheduler is also known as CPU scheduler. Long-term scheduler is used for long-running processes more oftenly, like the long-term scheduler executes less frequently as compared to the short-term scheduler. So once the scheduler has been invoked in order to fetch the process from the queue, it selects a process that is executing most of the time by the CPU, so that it will execute again quite later. So whereas in short-term scheduler it executes more frequently as compared to this. So once it is submitted the process to the CPU and for a small period of time the CPU starts execution of that process, and once the period gets over, the scheduler invokes again in order to fetch another process and assign it to the CPU. So the execution of this scheduler is more as compared to the long-term scheduler. Third point here is the long-term scheduler maintains the degree of multi-programming. What is the degree of multi-programming? It is the number of processes in the system. So the long-term scheduler maintains the average rate of processes entering into the system and average rate of processes exiting the system. So that is the main task of the long-term scheduler. Here the CPU scheduler spend more time on process selection. This is as we know that it executes more oftenly, so we spend more time on process selection as compared to this. Another point here is it's a CPU plus IO bound process. CPU bound process is where the process spend more time on performing computational tasks, whereas the IO bound process, the process which performs IO operation more as compared to the CPU operation. So long-term scheduler picks a process in a way that the process must be a combination of CPU plus IO. This is necessary because we can get into the situation where the resources will not properly engage either the CPU or the IO, because it is invoked less frequently. So it must be a situation where the process is assigned to the CPU and the other processes in the queue is still waiting for let's say the next process is for the IO, but as the scheduler has been invoked already for the process P1 and it is not invoking again, so here is a situation where the resource is not properly utilizing. This is an IO resource. So that's why we must pick the process which are the combination of CPU plus IO. Thank you for this session.